Greetings. Welcome to episode 9 of SOS, Spouting Out Spurgeon. I'm Jim Murphy, your host, bringing the timeless wisdom of Charles Haddon Spurgeon to a 21st century audience. Our headliner verse for today is gleaned from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, beginning at the 27th verse. Underneath are the everlasting arms. To which Spurgeon wrote this: God himself is our support at all times, and especially when we're sinking into deep trouble. There are times when Christians sink very low in humiliation. Under a deep sense of their own sinfulness, they're humbled before God until they hardly know how to pray. To themselves, they look worthless. Well, child of God, remember that when you're at your worst, underneath you are the everlasting arms. Sin may drag you low, but Christ's great atonement is still under everything. You may have descended into deep despair, but it's impossible for you to fall so low that he cannot save you. Sometimes Christians sink very deep in severe external trials. Every earthly prop is taken away. What then? Underneath you are the everlasting arms. No matter how deep you sink, the covenant grace of an ever-faithful God still encircles you. You may sink under fierce internal conflicts, but even then you can't be brought so low as to be beyond the reach of the everlasting arms. While you are held by them, all Satan's efforts to harm you are useless. This assurance of support is a comfort to every Christian. It promises strength for each day, grace for each need, and power for each duty. Further, when death comes, the promise still holds good. When we stand in the middle of the Jordan, we'll be able to say with David, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. We'll descend into the grave, but no lower, for the eternal arms prevent our further fall. All through life and at its close, we're upheld by God's everlasting arms. That's what Spurgeon wrote.
And now, straight from my Toastmasters experience, it's time for the word of the day. I give you a word, and in the next day or two or three, you use it.
The word of the day is pusillanimous. This is an adjective meaning lacking courage or resolution, cowardly, faint-hearted, timid, or proceeding from or indicating a cowardly spirit. Used in a sentence? In the movie classic The Wizard of Oz, Bert Lahr performed as that pusillanimous pussycat, the Cowardly Lion. Pusillanimous. Use it sometime during your conversation in the next day or two or three, and let me know how it turned out. On a personal note, I realize that a few weeks have passed since the last episode. Well, proof that I do other stuff besides video blog. And more time for the beard to grow. Not long ago, our church was visited by a Dr. Phil Harold of Trinity School for the Ministry, who led a seminar on faith, hope, and love, after which he and I conversed. And I told him about SOS, and he remarked that with my beard, I kind of look like Spurgeon. Well, Spurgeon did have a rather full beard, but he also had a full head of hair, and it seems that Dr. Harold was kind enough to overlook my overlook. Well, you know what? God bless him for that. He deserves a shout out. Thanks for visiting, Professor. Well, that's it for this episode. Feel free to give me a comment. I'm Jim Murphy with SOS. God bless, and so long for now.
SOS is a 2KC and 2MHK production.